The hair isn't from what I'm going to talk about today. This is just me scratching my head a lot. I just took a shit right before I started recording, but I'm gonna tell you, that shit won't be as big as the shit I had to deal with yesterday. So, I'm gonna give you a little story, guys. So yesterday, I was going to church. It was around Sunday. It was Sunday. What am I saying? It was Sunday. And I'm already running late because I had to go up north. I don't want to really exactly say the city. Actually, who am I kidding? No one's going to like dox me or anything. I was going up to like the Seattle area. And I was already late to service because I had to stop by at Shell to take a dump. And, among other things, I was just running late. That's my fault, but, that was like in my control. I should have been more responsible waking up earlier and yada yada. But that was like the first thing that ticked me off for that day. The second thing was I had to drive to like 30 minutes past wherever the heck I was to play Magic with some of my friends. And man, I got some of the cards that I wanted, but the game itself that I was playing with did not have fun. I didn't have such a good hand, and the cards that I was going against were so annoying. One of them was to destroy target non-land permanent if the card was tapped to attack. It was so dumb. So that was like another thing. The third thing that happened that is probably like the catalyst of how everything just went kaput. So, my phone, you guys know like the big four carrier services, right? Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint. At least that's like the top four a lot of people are going to be familiar with. I don't have any of them. I am using Mint Mobile. And I don't think anyone would have known what Mint Mobile was if Ryan Reynolds wasn't plastered on all those lime green background ads where he's like promoting Mint Mobile. He's like one of the shareholders, I think, but I don't know. We switched from Verizon to Mint a few months back, and it was alright for the most part up until recently. My phone would go on SOS mode just out of nowhere, just lose connection. Like it will be in like a local area, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's like confusing as to like why I'm suddenly like out of service in areas where I've always had service. So like that like ticked me off. And still right now my phone, it's who that? Yeah, I don't think you can tell. Goodness. Okay, it says it's out of it says no bars. And I don't really know my way around in Seattle, at least not at the part where I was. So I had to eyeball the GPS that was thankfully preloaded so I could see like where exactly the street I had to go to. So I had to go 30 minutes without GPS and kind of just freeball my way to where I thought I was supposed to go. And I'm getting there. I had to get to this building to do a fantasy football draft with my friends, and it was scheduled at 6 p.m. It was already 5:30, and I'm about 20 minutes away from where I'm supposed to be, and I'm still on this bridge, slow as hell with all the traffic, and I'm just so impatient because I'm just waiting for my phone to get back with the bars. It never came back. And then, right when I got to where I thought I was supposed to be, it turns out I was at the wrong street, and I realized I was south from where I was supposed to be, and I was still 25 minutes behind, and I'm already like 10 minutes away from actually having to show up to do the fantasy football draft, so I was going to miss it. It was a $50 buy-in, so it's pissing me off even more. I didn't know if my friend could like postpone it or whatever. He said he couldn't he said he couldn't postpone it, like he couldn't move it up. So I thought, so I guess the draft has to start as scheduled. So I'm like, whatever. I'm losing this year's fantasy. And somewhere along the way, as I'm trying to get there, I am in the middle of nowhere in Cap Hill, and guess what? My tire gets punctured. My rear right tire gets punctured, and I don't know what the heck to do now because my phone is out of service. So I decided to use my some stranger's phone to call my guys. And I thought, man, I'm bet they're probably not gonna like pick me up or whatever. They're probably just gonna like be like, oh, whatever, good luck, man. So I decided I'm gonna call my parents. They're not picking up, and even if they did pick up, that's another problem. They're in Vancouver. They can't help me if they could. They could not help me because they are 4 hours away from where I am. So I was stuck, and my tire is already losing so much pressure. It was, I don't know what the units are, PSI or whatever the frick. ATM, it was at 25, and usually the high normal tire pressure should be around 37 or whatever. So I'm running on low tire mode, And I decided, well, I can't be in the middle of nowhere because no one's going to be around to help me. I have to get to the U district where there are people around, like the students and whatnot. And hopefully someone could be able to help me and, get in contact with the people that, maybe my car gets towed or whatever the frick. Because I didn't know how to repair a tire until now. Anyways, I gambled and crossed the bridge. And I'm seeing that number on the tire pressure go down. And I am panicking. And as I was about to get to the place where I'm supposed to be, I took the wrong turn. My dumbass. And not only that, I was stuck in traffic, and I was stuck at the longest red lights I have ever been at my entire life. But fast forward, I got to a parking lot, at least near like one of the UW dorm halls. And thankfully, I like out of the million strangers that are just walking around, I asked someone, hey, can I borrow your phone? I need to call some friends. So the people, luckily the fantasy football draft, it could be paused. With my friend, he was first pick. He picked up Jahmyr Gibbs, rightfully so. And it was paused, so they had to come pick me up and figure out what to do with my punctured tire. They helped me replace it and whatnot, and with the spare donut that I had in my trunk, luckily. And today I just got the car tire fixed, so everything is good to go. But man, everything leading up to that was just so, I was losing my mind. I was so impatient. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I have a theory on why all of this happened. I think this happened because of the sins I have committed this year. I was not very cooperative in being the Christian that, God told us we should lead as men to be. And I have been very, very disappointing to my Father up in the sky. And if I misinterpreted, maybe all this happened to teach me a lesson in where, so earlier I mentioned I was at church, right? The guest pastor there, he gave a sermon on Peter and the storm, the famous Bible story if you're a Christian. And basically, kind of overall theme is, check where your storms are and how, God will lead you, still be with you in the storm. And my storm was that I had no GPS, I had no help, I only had nothing but my God. And even if things were to go sideways otherwise, maybe my friends can't pick me up, or maybe there was nobody around for me to, use the cell phone or whatever, I knew I had faith by at the end of the day that God will still be with me, and surely there would be a way to get out of it. I got out of it in a very fortunate outcome with the circumstances that were dealt to me. And man, and I learned another thing. I now know how to replace a tire with the spare one. So yeah, that is my story time. But man, that has to be one of the worst days of my life. Not the worst one. This is not even close. The worst one left me with trauma and depression. This one just left me with annoyance and a time wasted. I wasted an hour trying to get around to where the heck I was supposed to go. Anyways, that's my story. Yeah, and then I got a shower now. I look like a mess. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.